You know, I was doing a little midday walk and I got to thinking about something that I wanted to talk about. DoorDash's new on time rating. It's new to a lot of people, but I was in one of the first test markets, so it's not really new to me. When it started, it was in a good place, running in the background where you didn't even notice it, which is how it should be. If you're a person who goes A to B and doesn't multi-app, it should never affect you. But the problem is they've tweaked it to a point now that it affects even people that do that. I'm somebody who's been doing gig work full time for a long time. I travel around to a bunch of different markets too. Like I travel and do this. It lets me see the country and pay for it along the way, and it's how I like to live. Some markets, this on-time system is terrible. I was just in Vegas for a couple months, and it was brutal. Like if you have to go pick up at a casino or drop off at a casino, you're late. There's no way around it. This current iteration is pushing drivers to incentivize speed over quality, which I think is terrible for service. Let's talk. I get why on time exists. They're trying to phase out multi-apping, which I kind of agree with. I do multi-app, but I never take orders from different apps at the same time unless they're literally like right next to each other. The people that take orders that are going in different directions should be phased out, in my opinion, because it's just not good for the service. You know, you provide a bad service, people stop ordering, and when people stop ordering, you don't have a job anymore. So it makes sense. I used to be someone who always tried to provide quality work. But what I'm noticing now that the times are getting shorter and shorter and you don't have a window anymore, that I worry less about quality and more about speed. So I've had multiple orders where I've decided to do things that I would have never done in the past because my on-time rating was in jeopardy. There's two things that I can think of right now that have affected me that I kind of want to share. One is I now use worry-free unassigns on orders that are going to be late to pick up. So if I show up to a restaurant and it says I'm supposed to pick up at 12:52 and I get there at 12:50 and I have to wait on the food and 53 comes, 54 comes, 55 comes, I now have to think, if I don't get the little "we got your back" screen, I'm more likely just to wait the full 10 minutes and unassign that, even if the order's ready. Because if I'm going to get dinged because the restaurant was late, I just don't think that's fair. So it makes more sense to let that food sit there for an extra 7 minutes, unassign it, let it get bounced back out to another driver, and them come and get it. And that's like an extra 15 minutes the customer's waiting. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If this is supposed to provide like speedier service, it's really doing the opposite in this case. Instead of me just waiting an extra 3 minutes, now it's an extra 15 minutes. That doesn't seem fair to the customer, but it makes sense for the driver to do that because you don't get dinged on your on time that way. And the second reason is if the window's so tight on a drop off and you go to an apartment, we've all gone to apartments where the pin is on the other side of the apartment complex, right? You know, you're driving around the apartment complex, you drive to the GPS pin, you notice, oh, this is building 3, not building 11. So now you have to slowly drive around the apartment complex and find building 11 because you don't have GPS to it. Well, the windows are so tight that in that time, you're late. Like the extra 3 or 4 minutes it takes you to find the house, you're late. So it incentivizes drivers just to drop it at the pin, like at the wrong address. I used to be someone who would always make sure the order went to the right place, you know, double, triple check the address, make sure, you know, in my head, I'm like, okay, this is 201. Make sure every order I drop off, I'm like, name, customer name, check my phone, name, read the app, 201, look up 201, you know, take the picture. You know, it was a process every time. But what I'm starting to notice about myself now, that speed is way more relevant than quality of service, is I'm rushing things. You know, I pull into the apartment and I look at estimated time of arrival is 105. It's 105. It's 106. Like I'm already late, so I'm rushing to drop that order off. I don't double check anything anymore. I put the order down at the door where the GPS is and I snap my picture as fast as possible. The picture's blurry now because I don't even give myself a second to like steady the camera before I take the picture. If I have a stack, the first order, I'm taking a picture as I'm walking away from the door because I'm such in a hurry to get that next order dropped off. It really incentivizes drivers to worry about speed over quality. As a customer, would you rather get your order 2 minutes faster, or would you rather the driver make sure he's dropping it off at your door? I'm not saying that you should drop orders off at the wrong pin on purpose, but being rushed makes you not double and triple check things, which ensures quality when you double and triple check things. I know this system is coming from a good place, but I just don't think they're thinking about it correctly. I like that you get the disputes. You know, they help in cases where stuff's out of your control. But I think it would almost be better to just give more of a window. Because if you give like a 10-minute window, you're pretty much cutting out most things that could happen. You know, a bad GPS pin, a little traffic, you know, hitting more red lights than normal, all that stuff would fall within that 10-minute window. And a 10-minute window is not going to stop a multi-apper from driving across town. Like, I get they're trying to cut out people dropping stuff off like 30, 45 minutes late, and they should because that's ridiculous. But putting windows so tight to where someone who's driving A to B is only using one app has issues with it is not the answer. Like, you're punishing the wrong people. And also, I just started delivering in California again recently, and I had to take like a driver training thing before I could work here. And that all the videos in that training thing were stressing how your safety is our number one priority from DoorDash. But yet they introduce a system like you get punished for following traffic laws on this. Like if a light turns yellow, you should stop. But if your ETA is the exact same time you have to drop it off, you're incentivized to run that light. You're incentivized to take rights on red when you have a sign that says no right on red. I almost did that the other day, and there was a cop sitting in front of me. Luckily, I noticed him sitting there because I was about to go, because in my mind, I was like, this order is going to be late if I don't run this red light. There's nothing coming. It's no big deal. It just doesn't make a ton of sense that they're incentivizing drivers to break traffic laws when also saying our number one priority is safety. It's counterintuitive. It just feels like, to me, that they just care about bottom line. Providing a quality service is also important, and they're straying away from that with this new rating. This video is probably going to sound a lot like complaining, but that's okay. This is more of just a rant, and I will adapt. I always do. I'm just kind of explaining the situation from someone who travels around and sees different markets and can see the ups and downs of different areas. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Is on time rating in your market yet? How does it affect you in your market? Is it something you don't even notice, or is it something that you really have to focus on? Because I've found that it can be different for different markets. It doesn't seem as bad here in California. It was awful in Las Vegas. It kind of just depends on your area, like anything else in this line of work. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.